I totally get it because I've been there myself. You've tried everything, cutting out coffee, skipping tomatoes, sleeping propped up on pillows, all of the supplements, yet your reflux still lingers. You start to wonder, is this just my life now? My name is Molly, if you're new to my channel, and I'm a registered dietitian specializing in acid reflux, GERD, and LPR. But before I specialized and became a dietitian, I had over a decade-long struggle with acid reflux and GERD, and I went from doctor to doctor, medication to medication with no relief until I understood that in order to find relief, it is a combination of nutrition, your mindset, and prioritizing your nervous system as well as your entire lifestyle, how you eat, how you live, that can really help people get long-lasting relief. And it's that holistic approach that I want to talk to you about in today's video. So I hear this question all the time. Is it possible to stop GERD? Am I doomed? Am I destined for a lifetime of acid reflux? If I have a hiatal hernia, if I have a lower esophageal sphincter issue? And I want to talk to you a little bit about my client, Heidi, who came to me with a hiatal hernia, and she asked me the same question. She felt like she had tried everything, but was still struggling with acid reflux, GERD, and some LPR symptoms as well. By the way, if you're not sure what type of reflux you have, definitely take a look at my video on the major types of reflux and the difference between them, just so you can learn more about your symptoms, and that is on my YouTube channel here. But let me tell you about Heidi's journey. So it was a combination of shifting the way that she ate, slowing down her meal times, really focusing on 80% fullness, as well as pausing some of the reflux triggers to allow inflammation to reduce, and shifting her mindset. It's really important that we start to realize that reflux now does not mean you will always have reflux. The way you feel right now does not mean you're going to feel this way forever. And so today I'm going to walk you through 4 key shifts that helped Heidi and so many others take control of their symptoms, as well as myself. I'll also be in this video making one of my recent favorite recipes, which is reflux-friendly and low FODMAP, as well as gluten-free. This is my crispy sesame tofu and baked zucchini fries that are delicious. The full recipe is down below in the description, and the recipe is also on the Flora app if you are a Flora community member, because healing should still taste good. So right now, it might feel like reflux is your forever reality, but I want you to take a deep breath and remind yourself how you feel today is not how you'll feel forever. Your body is capable of healing. Your nervous system plays a massive role in reflux and digestion. And if you're constantly in a state of stress, if you're constantly in a state of fight or flight, it can keep symptoms stuck on repeat. One of my clients, Elizabeth, had been struggling with reflux for years, and she told me, I felt like my body was broken. Nothing would ever change. But when she started working on nervous system regulation, breathing techniques to stretch and strengthen her diaphragm, this really helped her lower esophageal sphincter, as well as meal timing and mindful eating helped her symptoms drastically improve. She went on vacation and even ate out 3 times a week without issues, being able to have a little bit of tomato sauce and a little bit of wine. This is a reminder that the way you feel now is not how you're going to feel forever. Tip number 2 is shifting from zero reflux to in control, shifting this mindset about absolutely no reflux is the only acceptable solution versus thinking about your symptoms as in control. A lot of people get stuck because they believe success means having zero reflux ever again. But the real goal is control, because actually some reflux is normal. If you overeat and then lay down, even someone without GERD, without a history of reflux, could get reflux. Some reflux is considered normal, even when you get a pH impedance test or a test that looks at how frequently you're having reflux, like a Bravo test. There is a level of reflux that is considered normal. The reason that GERD is so problematic, or LPR, is because these are persistent and inflammatory reflux. So occasional reflux, it doesn't mean that you're failing. Learning to manage symptoms means 2 things. First, getting relief. Bringing down the inflammation, healing the tissues. If you've had GERD and this has caused a lot of inflammation or erosion, we need to heal these tissues. Second, it's understanding that your personal thresholds for trigger foods. Take this example of my client, Taylor. She was terrified of reintroducing foods after being on a super strict elimination diet. She thought that if she ate one wrong thing, her her reflux would spiral out of control. But we worked together to find threshold amounts. So we started reintroducing foods like chocolate or tomato sauce in very, very small portions and worked up until she found the level that was tolerable for her symptoms. So the key isn't avoiding everything altogether. It's understanding what portion size actually works for you for these trigger foods so that you can enjoy them in moderation. What a lot of people do is they start to feel better and then they introduce the trigger foods all at once, or they introduce them in the portion sizes that they used to have. And this isn't the best way forward. We really want to reintroduce slowly and gradually so that we understand what are your unique threshold amounts. And then understanding too that a little bit of reflux, if you overeat, if you ate too quickly, if you have a massive bowl of tomato sauce and a glass of red wine, some reflux is actually normal, and that is up to you of what symptoms are you kind of willing to tolerate. Some people do not want to experience any symptoms, and so we need to be careful about the portion size and the way that we're eating. Other people, it's worth it to them to have a glass of champagne at a wedding, and there may be some minimal symptoms that you feel with that after your healing journey, but it's really important that we understand what are your threshold amounts with the trigger foods. Speaking of limits, the biggest mistake I see is people avoiding foods entirely instead of figuring out their personal threshold. So I really want to emphasize that your body isn't broken, and it doesn't mean you'll never be able to have these foods again. It just means there are certain limits right now, and those limits are flexible and they may shift over time. As you heal, you might be able to tolerate more and more. So understand that this is not an all or nothing approach. Tip number 3 is knowing that just because you don't tolerate something now doesn't mean you won't tolerate something in the future. And I want to give the example of myself here. So even after I recovered from GERD, healed my esophagitis, and I weaned off of my proton pump inhibitor medications, I could not tolerate coffee. Every time I tried to reintroduce coffee, I would get burning, heartburn, throat pain right underneath the rib cage. I was able to have pretty much all foods in moderation, but coffee was just an absolute no-go for me. And I was really discouraged because I felt like I'd never be able to incorporate coffee again. But as more time went on, I tried it every once in a while, and it seemed like my reaction to it was getting less severe. And then even more time went on, maybe a year after weaning off of PPIs, and I was able to have a cup of coffee. I was able to have, 6 ounces of regular coffee with some milk, always with food, never on an empty stomach. Even today, if I have coffee on an empty stomach, it really wrecks my stomach and gives me reflux. So always with food, but now I'm able to have a regular cup of coffee in the morning, and it's one of my favorite parts of my day. I get it imported from my favorite city in the world, Copenhagen, and it's a really special thing for me because it was something I was never able to do. So just because you can't have this now does not mean you won't in the future. And it's really important that we accept, where your body is now. It's been through a lot, and we cannot expect it to be better in just a few weeks or a few months and perfectly back to normal in terms of what you can tolerate. And it might change in the future. Tip number 4 is finding ways to enjoy life while healing. The biggest reason people struggle to stick with their plan is because it feels like a punishment. And by plan, I mean like an acid reflux relief protocol or a diet or a change they're trying to stick to. It becomes unsustainable when it feels like a punishment. And healing should include joy. It should include fun, passion. Doesn't mean taking it away. Finding meals you love, enjoying dinner with friends, letting yourself have moments of pleasure, even if it's something small like a cozy cup of chamomile tea or reading your favorite book at night. These are absolutely essential. And so don't mistake your healing journey for a lack of fun, a lack of enjoyment. We need these sources of passion, of joy, of fun to support your vagus nerve and your nervous system. And this is exactly why I created this YouTube channel, to help you enjoy food while healing with recipes that are both reflux friendly and satisfying. So make sure that you subscribe. Let me know what kinds of recipes you want to see in the future, because healing shouldn't mean missing out on delicious meals. And even after you heal, having reflux friendly meals in your rotation can also help to support your continued relief and healing. So let's recap. You're not doomed with reflux forever. The 4 shifts that can make all the difference are: 1, shifting your mindset, knowing that the way you feel now is not the way that you will feel forever. This is temporary. Number 2, focus on control, not perfection. or complete elimination. 3, learning your personal threshold amounts, not just cutting everything out or adding everything back in sort of all at once. And number 4, making healing enjoyable so you can actually stick with it. Now, if you're ready to take your healing to the next level, please make sure to watch my video on 3 bad habits holding you back from acid reflux relief. It is a game changer, and if this video helped you, please be sure to comment, give this video a like, because it helps me continue to provide this free content every week to help you prevent your reflux symptoms, and subscribe so more people like you can find relief with this YouTube channel. Make sure that you let me know what kinds of videos you want to see in the future, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.